Hi everyone, welcome to the Bio Edge. Today we've got an item called a best kept secret of wild cats, the Aposematic barcode. And we're going to be discussing coloration biology in the cats in the family Felidae. And to start with, here's a lovely juicy biological puzzle for all of you. Have a look at this photograph of the African wild cat in the Kalahari in southern Africa through the lens of adaptive coloration. This is an animal that stalks prey and needs to blend into its background to be inconspicuous. Have a good look at that cat and think, what's wrong with this picture? What is wrong with this picture? Let's have a look. Now, this is another cat that is marked to be camouflaged in its environment. And if you look at the inner surface of the foreleg around here, you'll see that the inner foreleg is no different from the rest of the tiger because it's striped in such a way that it disrupts the outline of the animal and makes it inconspicuous. In contrast to another family of carnivores, the Mustelidae, exemplified by the skunks, which have their whole body converted to a kind of a conspicuous flag that has no value in hiding the animal, but announces to potential enemies that this is a dangerous animal. It's like a danger warning sign. And this warning coloration of black and white that you see in a skunk is called aposematic coloration and is a contrast to the camouflage of the cats. Coming back to cats, you'll see again in the leopard that the inner surface of the foreleg is completely in line with the rest of the animal in helping to hide the leopard as it stalks. In contrast to our Kalahari wildcat, where you can see there's a small skunk-like pattern here on the inner foreleg that doesn't seem to fit in with the rest of the coloration. So why would an African wildcat compromise its camouflage by having this rather conspicuous inner foreleg surface? Coming back to the cheetah, which stalks during the day, it again is completely unremarkable on that part of the body, and so it seems like the wild cat is something of an odd cat out. Now here's a cat about the size of the wild cat from South America called Geoffroy's cat, and you can see that in this case, there is some kind of barring here on the inner foreleg, but again, it's not really all that different from the overall impression of the animal, and you can quite easily see that the Geoffroy's cat, even with that pattern on its inner foreleg, could blend nicely into the environment. Similarly to the leopard, in a similar posture, the leopard's sitting there, and you know, there's nothing much that springs out from that coloration pattern as being particularly noticeable. Now, coming back to the African wildcat in the Kalahari, here's another view that really again shows how odd the inner surface of the foreleg is, not only in comparison with the plain body and the rather muted striping on the outer legs, but also compared to the inner surface of the hind leg. You can see how different the foreleg and the hind leg are, because only the foreleg has that kind of black armband with rather sinister connotations, because there's just too much conspicuousness there to fit in with the rest of the animal. Another view of the same animal, the African wildcat in the Kalahari, again showing that, you know, this is a consistent pattern in wildcats in some part of their range. They've got this skunk-like pattern on the foreleg, particularly nicely shown here because you can see how the outer surface of the foreleg in the African wildcat in the Kalahari is a bit like a tiger in its stripes. It's obviously going to help the animal blend in to the background, whereas the inner surface of the very same leg is apparently designed to stand out. So as the African wildcat turns on you, as you approach it as a potential enemy, it turns on you and starts to take a defensive posture. What do you think it's trying to tell you about itself by announcing in black and white some sort of warning message? Well, this is the answer. Here's a domestic cat which is derived from the wild cat by selective breeding. And as it faces off a domestic dog, you can see how it presents that banded pattern on the inner surface of the very limb that is used to strike back at the attacker. Here's another species of small cat in the same genus as the African wild cat. This is called the sand cat, and it lives in the Sahara as well as the Asian deserts. And again, you can see that in contrast to the overall pale and plain coloration of the sand cat, there are these peculiar, noticeable bars which can surely not help the animal to blend into its background and seem to make it stand out. So again, there's something to be explained there. In the serval cat, the pattern is not so noticeable because there are quite prominent blotches all over the animal. But again, the foreleg looks a bit odd. It's just a little too garish and too bold to fit in with the overall leopard-like design of the serval's coat. And the final picture we have is the bobcat, which is a type of lynx widespread in North America. And again, the pattern, like in the serval, is a little nebulous, a little uncertain, but again, if you compare the inner surface of the foreleg with the inner surface of the hind leg and the general subdued coloration of the coat, you can see there's something slightly peculiar and sinister about this foreleg pattern, and it's possible that the bobcat, again, when in confrontation with a larger predator, has the ability to remind the predator of its defensive capacity. Now, if these cats are actually announcing a special weapon, as skunks do, what could the special weapon be? Well, perhaps it's just the fact that cats, all cats except the cheetah, have got not just a few sharp claws, but 20 sharp claws, and they can deploy them all simultaneously when attacked. And although a large predator can potentially kill the cat, it risks being badly lacerated, perhaps even blinded through its eyelids, because the cat claws can slice right through an eyelid into the eye, and also risking infection. So the idea we're planting here for future testing is that cats, although generally inconspicuously colored, have got one panel on their surface, which is the inner foreleg, that doesn't normally get in the way of their stealth and their hunting, but can be displayed in a confrontational situation in certain postures to remind larger attackers that they really are facing an animal that can punch above its weight, or in this case, scratch above its weight. So think about that.